Welcome to the most disliked show on YouTube.
Hello and welcome. Recently I saw a good story documenting the rise and fall of the entertainment sports programming network, ESPN. Really happy about this. Very happy about the fall. And many people say that ESPN has a liberal bias. That's not really their problem. The problem is they suck. ESPN is the worldwide leader in sucking.
And was valued at $50 billion in 2014. By all accounts, the company was now an empire, and there did not seem to be anything that would be able to slow it down. But if we fast forward just 3 years later, this illusion of ESPN's invincibility was exactly that, an illusion, and the problems facing the network are now starting to compound. Now, before getting into the current problems ESPN is facing, I realize I have not yet discussed just how exactly the network makes the majority of its money. You see, the business model for ESPN is really not rocket science. It is actually quite simple. Although many might think ad revenue is the largest source of income for Disney's cash cow, the majority of ESPN's money comes from the cable carriers that cut them a check for carrying their channel in the cable bundle. For example, let's say the dad of a family of four decides he's going to buy a cable package from AT&T for $100 a month. While that monthly payment goes straight to AT&T, AT&T has to give a chunk of that to each channel that is included in the package. Yet the split between the different channels is not an even distribution, not even close. Due to the high demand for live sports programming, ESPN was able to command a price towards cable carriers of over $6.04 a month, far and away the most expensive channel in the bundle. For reference, TNT only charges $1.48 per cable subscriber, and Fox News is only at 90 cents per cable subscriber.
To get to the point, people are canceling their cable subscriptions, but ESPN isn't doing themselves any favors. So when you have a panel of, let's say, 4 black people analyzing something to do with sports, and they all suck, then people notice, and they're liberal because they hire these people that suck, and they think it's like affirmative action. But the reality is this: the white people on ESPN suck just as much, if not worse, than the black people. I'm going to say worse. Let me give you some of these names: John Anderson, Neil Everett, Max Bretos. Maybe he's Hispanic. Got a Hispanic in there. Trey Wingo. The horrible, just horrible. I almost fell down. And this documentary really discusses. Well, we know what's disgusting. ESPN discusses, the rising and fall. But ESPN is in the business of communication, and they don't have effective communication. ESPN, it was cool when it first started. Because it was 24-hour sports. You could only catch sports at that point on the broadcast networks, NBC, etc. Then all of a sudden, you got 24-hour sports. You can watch games on ESPN. Actually, USA Network. Can you believe that? Early 80s USA Network. I wasn't watching heavily then, but maybe somebody could tell me. They can't because I have disabled the comments. So maybe you can contact me telepathically and tell me who had the NBA first. Was it USA? USA might have had the NBA first, and maybe hockey also. Maybe ESPN just had college sports. So with this, we should really be talking about the USA Network now. But ESPN really didn't have great personalities then either. Great anchors, great play-by-play guys. They had Chris Berman, they had Tom Jackson. And don't forget the very best, Rush Limbaugh. And Brad Nessler. And then just a bunch of serviceable guys. But they seemed cool because they were on this upstart network. We now know how horrible Keith Olbermann really is. And Dan Patrick, boring individual. Of course, Keith Olbermann was thrown out of the establishment for attacking them, and now he's on his hands and knees. Please take me back. Take me back. I just care about the money too. I'm not really a liberal. John McCain is my favorite person that's ever existed. You're pathetic, Olbermann. Okay, let's see here. And it's not that they suck entirely now. They've got a couple good personalities. Mike Wilbon. Dan Levitard has a show that's almost funny, almost it's entertaining, and you almost laugh. And he is pretty intellectual, a pseudo-intellectual, as he would call himself. And yeah, he's pretty entertaining. And of course, I was watching his cohort. What the fuck's that guy's name? Stu Gatz, because Stu Gatz, I guess his daughter or I think a daughter went to that school that was involved in the shooting, the mass murder down there in Florida. And it's not funny, that part, but what's funny is when Stu Gatz went on ESPN, he was like, you know, it's always different when it happens to your hometown. With that New Jersey accent, that's not your hometown. You relocated there. God, these New Jersey people, they're never proud of. Just be proud of being from New Jersey. You're unique. It always affects you different when it happens to your own your own hometown.
It's a tough day yesterday, and to see that all kind of play out in my hometown.
Somebody should make that guy wear a suit. Yeah, Dan Wiener, we know that you're. John Wiener, we know that your real name, what's on your W-2s. Would you mind shaving today?
You see it elsewhere, you see it around the country, you see it on CNN, you see it on other news outlets all the time. You never think it's...
In your hometown, did something happen in Newark? Oh my God. That means you have no empathy. I could put myself in your shoes right now and know that that's just a horrible situation. You have to have empathy for other people, Stu Gatz, so you suck. But Dan Levitard, pretty good.
Please remember to subscribe and hit the dislike button at the bottom of the page. Contribute on the About screen of the channel by clicking on the PayPal button.